Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. It is June! I always want to run around singing that song that my mom used to sing. June is busting out all over. When I was a kid, I don't know why, but I didn't make the connection that the song was about the month of June. I thought it was about a woman named June who just like chronically wore clothes that were too small for her. Anyway. It is June, which means that it is time for my June monthly favorites video. And this month I am so excited because so many of my favorites are perfect for helping people get into a really good dietary groove, helping them stay there, and helping it be a really delicious experience where you don't feel deprived, you don't feel too confused, and you're just thoroughly prepared to succeed with any changes you might be aspiring to. So let's get started. My first favorite for the month of June is something that is pretty new. In fact, it was only made available June 9th. It is the meal planner that has been created by High Carb Hannah. I made some videos about Hannah and her recommendations before. I will link it up there. And while our dietary philosophies might not be exactly the same, the places where we vary are realistically quite small and insignificant places. What makes me so excited about this meal planner is that it's either the only or one of the only meal planners that is specifically designed for people who are vegan, who eat low fat, who are either reducing or eliminating sodium, as well as reducing or eliminating excess sugar. So the other meal planners that I have looked at or used, I always end up having to make huge recipe modifications, either getting rid of the oil, getting rid of things like earth balance, or having to drastically reduce the salt and then change all of the seasonings so that I get something that actually tastes palatable and delicious. So that's why I'm so excited about this meal planner, because literally every single recipe that's on here, I can eat. And the only modification that I make is that I take all of the recipes from 1 serving to 10 servings to feed me and then ginormous Levi plus having leftovers. And that is just so incredibly simple. It can literally be done with 2 clicks and everything is updated for the portion sizes that I want. And then the best part, the thing that has been saving my life, and I've so been enjoying this, is that once you get all your meals that you want to eat for approximately the week, you can then have the program create you a grocery list. And then that grocery list can either be printed off or emailed to you, and then you can just access it directly from your phone. Which is so handy for me because I feel like every single time I walk into the grocery store, specifically the health food store, it's like a twilight zone of memory. And I go in there, and I don't care how many times I've thought about my list, but I go in there and I can't remember anything that I need. So I end up just wandering around and I'm like, I guess I'll get some limes and some tofu, whatever, I don't know. And then I get home and of course remember everything that I forgot. And you might say, Lily, just write a list if that's a problem. And to that I say, I do write a list and I always forget it at home. I tried writing lists on my phone, but it's like it just takes so darn long with the little, anyway, I love that it has the grocery shopping list. The other thing that I like about it is that I am not good with complicated computer programs and stuff, as was proven yesterday when I was on the phone with the very sweet and empathetic customer service assistant for Adobe, crying because their programs are too damn hard. Anyway. And you might have noticed that I only have like my breakfasts and my dinners planned out. And that's because like I just always have leftovers for lunch. Like I'm not gonna cook a meal in the middle of the day just for me. If it's just me, I end up eating potatoes with ketchup on them every day, which is why I have to be codependent with someone. But I'm really enjoying that this meal planner has provided me with like a bunch of new recipe inspiration, because it's so easy for me to get stuck in a rut of like, okay, today we'll have sushi, today we'll have black beans, tomorrow we'll have sushi. and then black beans. So I'm really happy with it so far, and I genuinely feel like this is one of the best tools to offer people that are new to the vegan lifestyle or the high carb lifestyle or the lower sodium lifestyle, the SOS lifestyle. So I will leave a link down below for anyone who wants to check it out, and that'll be that. My next favorite for the month of June, you guys might have seen me using this over the last several months. It is my Instant Pot. I wanted to include this favorite on this month specifically because the meal planner that Hannah has created that we just talked about, she is just adding all of her Instant Pot recipes. And I really gotta say, I mentioned it in my How to Cook Beans video, but this Instant Pot is about 100 times more awesome than I thought it was gonna be. Our rice cooker has been on its last legs for 6 months. So I was like, okay, well, instead of spending like $40 on just a rice cooker, I'm gonna go ahead and invest in this Instant Pot, which is a rice and grain cooker. It is a pressure cooker. It's a slow cooker. It can do everything. So it really replaces a lot of appliances in the kitchen. But the thing that I'm using it mostly for is the pressure cooking feature, because I am able to make beans incredibly fast. I'm able to like throw everything together in a pot and make like a veggie curry in less than an hour. And this has been instrumental in me being able to feed my family really good food on shorter notice. Because before it would be like, I'd have to cook everything on the stove in a big pot, and it would end up taking hours and hours and hours, and there were so many different steps. But with the Instant Pot, I can just throw everything together, push the buttons, walk away, leave it, and then come back an hour or so later and it's done. It has saved me so much time, and it's allowed me to keep my family fed and happy on whole plant foods without having to resort to a lot of like prepackaged convenience foods or processed foods. It's been really helpful in keeping Levi like full after he gave up all of the processed foods, because that man can eat. What I also really like about the Instant Pot is that the outcome is really consistent. And I guess I'm specifically talking about just beans for this one, but it's like every time I cook the beans, they come out perfectly. The perfect consistency, they're tender without falling apart, there's just enough cook liquid left over. I really feel like I'm starting to get my groove with the Instant Pot. It took me a few times, but you know. And the other thing that I didn't even expect would happen, but I've really been able to reduce the amount of salt that I cook with. So I don't really like to eat bland food, and Levi and the girls definitely are not going to tolerate eating bland food. So usually I would have to resort to like, you know, I'd cook beans and I'd have to throw like a ton of salt in there to actually make it taste good. But with the Instant Pot, I've noticed that even if I add just like a little bit of sodium or a little bit of salt into the cooking liquid, it really drives that flavor into the bean or into the curry or the potatoes or whatever I'm cooking, and that flavor gets fully into the food, which means that I can use a lot less of it and get the same result. So I've been really pleased with that, because reducing the amount of sodium that I eat has been so important for my skin health and my water retention and helping me feel hydrated and really good. I mean, I still eat some salts. I've made a video about salt. It's not something that you need to be hyper pedantic about, but it's nice if we can just reduce the amount that we're eating, especially for boyfriends and kids who don't think about sodium ever. My next favorite is brand spankin' new, and I don't know, it's like the Instant Pot. I don't know why I waited so long to do this, but you guys know we don't have an oven, and that has severely restricted the types of recipes that I'm able to make, the types of foods that I'm able to make. Like lasagna, I've just been thinking about lasagna for years. I want a lasagna, but what I don't want is a giant oven. You take up so much damn space, and then you turn them on and they heat up the whole house, which is a problem here in Hawaii, especially during the summer, like right now, because I'm schwitzing like crazy. We finally decided, let's get a countertop oven. I've been watching that vegan couple using their countertop oven for ages, and it was time. So we got this halogen countertop oven. It's like a glass bowl. It's a really cool design. And I have to say, I'm so much happier with this oven than I thought I was gonna be. And it's not just the lasagna. It's also because it's a lot more energy efficient than a huge oven. It heats up like that. You know, I turn it on to 400 and less than 5 minutes, it's already preheated. Also, the amount of heat that it lets off isn't that bad. Like, if you touch it, you're gonna get burned, but the amount of heat radiating off of this thing is surprisingly low. I expected it to be leaking heat everywhere, but it's really not that bad. So this last weekend for Levi's birthday, we made him a cake that was actually made out of brownies, and the brownies were made from, you know, stone ground flour and cocoa and black beans, right? And so I was able to make him this awesome, relatively healthy birthday cake with this little oven, and I'm so happy. Lasagna is coming next. And for my final favorite, since the last few were like practical lifestyle stuff, I thought I would include something pretty and something from Hawaii that I can share with you all. So you might have noticed, I don't know if you did, but I have these beautiful earrings on, and these cute little studs are by a local artist here in Hawaii. Her name is Fauna. She was actually my landlord at the first place I ever had when I moved to this island, and she became a good friend of mine. Why I love these earrings specifically, first and foremost, is that they are all natural and from a renewable, sustainable resource. With a lot of the jewelry and such that comes out of Hawaii, it includes things like our local shells, or coral, or plastic crap that has been brought in from China and then sent back out with a freaking hibiscus printed on it. So what I love about these earrings is that the artist, Fauna, she collects branches. So this is wood that has naturally fallen from a tree. It's not cut from the tree isn't harmed at all in the process, and then she does everything in the entire process by hand. So she cuts them with a little hand saw and hand sands them, and then she hand paints each and every one of them. And what I've learned about Fauna over the years is that her integrity when it comes to environmental soundness and keeping up, fulfilling the promises that she makes in her businesses is something that she takes really, really seriously. I remember when we were making popsicles together once, she was feeling really stressed out because the bananas that the supplier had given her were from Ecuador instead of the Big Island, and her whole thing was that it's all local ingredients, right? And I was sitting there like, you know that when you go to restaurants and stuff that are equally as greenwashed, like, you're just lucky if you get food that didn't fall on the floor first, right? You get that? Anyway, there's a lot of artistic integrity in what she does. So I have a couple of pairs of these and I absolutely love them, and I'll just read you the back. It says, Nahele is the Hawaiian word for forest, which I think is just beautiful. Just as the oceans and beaches give us treasures of adornment, so do the trees from the mountains to the coast. And I just love them. The one thing that isn't ideal for my lifestyle is that I just like to put in earrings and then never think about it again, which is why you usually see me in my little gold studs. But these ones, like, you don't really want to take a shower with them or anything, because they do have that beautiful real bark detail along the side that hasn't been varnished or anything like that. At least I don't think it's been varnished. It doesn't look like it's been. But I just love it. You get a little splash of color, and I love her taste in colors. And then you still get to see the natural grain of the wood, and you get a little piece of genuine Hawaii with you without having taken from the island. So I will leave you a link to her website down below, and she has specifically set up a little shop just for you guys. So if you want a pair of these beautiful little earrings, you can go and buy them, and she will be hand painting like crazy for however long she's getting orders from everyone. And you all will have a unique gift that's made with integrity and aloha from the island of Hawaii. And so funny, I just finished filming the video and then I went to check my phone and Fauna texted me and said that she would like to offer you guys a 10% off coupon. So you can redeem that 10% off of your order by using the code LILYKOI. That is LILYKOI, no spaces, all lowercase, and that'll get you 10% off of your order. And while you're on her website, I definitely recommend check out her artwork. It is my dream that she will come to the house that we're gonna build and just paint huge murals on everything. Oh, and her fruit and flower paintings, oh my god. I know she has the prints and stuff on her website, but she has some of the originals hanging in her house, and I could just stare at them all day. Okay, so I've probably taken up enough of your time. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you all enjoy and benefit from these favorites that I have shared with you this month as much as I have. As always, make better choices for yourself. No one else is going to do it for you. And take really, really good care. I will see you all very, very soon. Bye.